Recently, I've reflected on my first winter as an amputee. It was a few months after amputation, so I'd already gotten a prosthesis, but was still getting used to it. If you haven't lost a leg, let me tell you, amputees really look forward to the day when they get their first leg. It isn't just about the walking. It's usually because there's something they've lost from their lives that they're trying to reclaim. For me, it was being a mom. You see, my youngest was only a month old when my leg was crippled. By the time I experienced my first winter as an amputee, he was 3 years old. I'd spent years watching my kids' childhoods rush by me, unable to fully participate. It wasn't just that I'd missed out on many normal, precious moments with my 3 kids. It was that I'd never shared these experiences with my youngest. I'd never run around the yard with him or taken him sledding. I couldn't play with him like other moms could, so there were many things he'd never experienced. So when I saw snow start to fall, what do you think I did? I shoveled the driveway. Ha! Tricked you. You were expecting an inspirational moment of me frolicking through the snow with my cute little boy, but no frolicking can occur until someone shovels the driveway, and that someone happens to be me.
So how much snow did we get? I'd say about a foot.
The weather doesn't care if you're disabled. It'll snow on your driveway anyhow. Finding a boot that fit over my prosthesis proved difficult. I hadn't yet discovered adaptive boots, and it's hard to get an unbending foot into regular boots. But on the upside, only half of my toes are susceptible to frostbite, and matching is overrated, so out I went. Isn't it funny how something that used to be a chore now feels empowering? Like it's a sign of how far I've come. One driveway later, and we're going to the park.
Yeah, bye, Mama.
We're going to the park. We're going to the park. It's moments like these that make me appreciate my car. It's hard enough being an amputee in the snow in modern times, between how slippery things are and increased phantom pain. But imagine what it must have been like 100 years ago. Before modern prosthetic legs, electric heating, ice melt, zipper boots, and snow plows.
There's a doggy driving that car.
Bye, dog.
Handicap parking's a little snowed in. Doesn't look very accessible to me.
Bye. You like something else, too?
Yes!
Speaking of ice melt, the park seems to have run out.
Ooh, ice.
Beneath the dusting of snow is lots of ice. Between slip hazards and unevenly packed snow, walking turned out to be a lot harder than I'd bargained on.
Did you fall down?
But for better or worse, kids are good at tricking moms into pushing their physical limits.
Whoop. I almost fell down.
If I do fall, at least wearing a puffy coat means I won't break anything, right?
That wasn't so bad.
I didn't care how hard it was to walk. There was no way I was turning back, not after the little guy spotted the slide. In his entire life, I don't think he'd ever been taken to the park by his mommy. If that's not heartbreaking, I don't know what is. Taking my little boy to the park was one of the things I'd been most looking forward to. Seeing how excited he was, I would have tunneled through an avalanche to get him to that slide.
Let me go down.
You gonna slide? Here we go. Whee! That's funny.
You know, I talk about a lot of intense emotions on this channel.
I'm coming.
Things ranging from grief and loss to pain and depression to hope and gratitude. But I don't know if I've ever felt this emotional editing a video.
Here I am. Go down the slide.
I don't think anyone's ever going to understand fully what it was like trying to raise a tiny little baby for years, unable to walk, and being stuck for so long in the same room because I couldn't carry him or walk around with him. And the first few years of his life were just a constant stream of surgeries, pain, and battles I couldn't win. After feeling so trapped and feeling so bad for him, not being able to get out and see the world and experience the sunshine and the wind and see flowers and grasshoppers and all the beautiful small things. Just having that moment to finally go out together.
No.
It meant everything to me. And it still does. It still makes me tear up when I look at the footage.
I got up.
That was funny.
was up and down.
Yeah, it did. You went down with the snow.
Playing in the snow was such a simple, ordinary experience, but it felt like the most incredible thing in the world. I don't think I ever could have appreciated it as much as I do now if I hadn't lost my leg.
Bye, Mama.
But I suppose life is like that, isn't it? It'll always have its ups and downs, and it'll never be quite perfect. I was still cold and in pain, but I was so happy. Not in a fleeting sense. It was a deeper, more meaningful sort of joy. It makes me think that living a good life isn't about the absence of hard things, but the presence of good things. Those good things don't come free. I had to work hard to get out there at all, and when it was time to come home, I was sore, cold, and exhausted. But it was worth it. Not because sledding or snow-covered slides are the most amazing things in the world, but because spending quality time with the people you love is. Sometimes we let loss make us forget about the precious things we still have, such as the people beside you. Even if it's an uphill battle, keep climbing. When it feels impossible to reach the top, it's still important to keep living, instead of waiting around in hopes that things will be better someday. If I wait for things to be perfect in order to be happy, then I'll die miserable. So I've decided to forge my own path, despite the obstacles. My life will never be the same after losing my leg, but this holiday season, I feel genuine joy for the things I do have. And you know what? That makes the hard things somehow easier. I'm Stephanina, and thank you for joining me on my amputee adventures. Whatever you're going through, I hope you find joy this holiday season.